10 things successful people ignore in life. There are a lot of things successful people ignore in life. But there are 10 specific things that seem to make the biggest difference. 1. The opinions of others. One of the things that successful people ignore in life is the opinions of others. On the surface, this may seem counterintuitive. After all, shouldn't successful people be looking for feedback in order to improve? However, the reality is that too much input can actually be detrimental. When you're constantly taking in other people's opinions, it's easy to become overwhelmed and second-guess your own instincts. Successful people understand that they need to trust their own judgment, and they don't let other people's views derail them from their goals. Instead, they focus on what they need to do in order to achieve their objectives. By ignoring the noise and staying focused on what's important, successful people are able to stay on track and achieve their goals. 2. Negative thoughts and self-doubt. One of the things successful people ignore in life is negative thoughts and self-doubt. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that you're not good enough or that you'll never be successful. However, successful people know that these thoughts are nothing more than pessimistic thinking. Instead of letting negative thoughts hold them back, they focus on their goals and what they need to do to achieve them. They also surround themselves with positive people who support their dreams and help them stay motivated. So if you want to be successful, start by ignoring your negative thoughts and self-doubt. Focus on what you want to achieve, surround yourself with positive people, and take action towards your goals. 3. Comparison to others. Envy and jealousy can be incredibly destructive emotions. When we compare ourselves to others, we set ourselves up for disappointment. We convince ourselves that we should be further along in our career, or that we should have a better relationship, or a nicer car. But the fact is, everyone's journey is different. And even if someone appears to have everything we want, it doesn't mean that they're actually happy. So instead of comparing ourselves to others, let's focus on our own lives. Let's make the choices that are best for us, and let's celebrate our own successes. 4. Procrastination. One of the most interesting things about successful people is the things they choose to ignore. We all have our own priorities and focus areas, but some people have an uncanny ability to focus on what's important and ignore what isn't. One of the things successful people often ignore is procrastination. Now, this isn't to say that successful people don't ever procrastinate. Everyone does it from time to time. But successful people have learned how to identify when they're procrastinating and how to overcome it. They know that procrastination is often just a form of fear or resistance, and they've learned how to deal with those emotions so they can get back on track. 5. Unnecessary stressors and worries. We all know successful people who seem to have it all together. They're confident, they're always moving forward, and they never let anything get in their way. But what you may not realize is that there are certain things successful people ignore in life. One of those things is unnecessary stressors and worries. Successful people know that worrying about things that are out of their control is a waste of time and energy. They focus on the present moment and on taking actionable steps to achieve their goals. This doesn't mean that successful people don't experience stress or fear. But they know how to manage those emotions so they don't get in the way of their success. 6. Toxic people and relationships. We've all heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And while there's some truth to that, it's not always possible or desirable to cut ties with everyone in our lives who don't contribute to our overall well-being. So how do successful people deal with toxic people and relationships? For one thing, they recognize that they can't change other people, only themselves. They also know when to walk away from a situation that isn't healthy for them. And finally, they have a strong support system of friends and family members who love and appreciate them just as they are. If you find yourself surrounded by toxic people, remember that you have the power to ignore them and focus on the positive relationships in your life. You don't have to let them bring you down. 7 Unhealthy habits and addictions. Everyone has unhealthy habits and addictions that they know they need to ignore, but successful people have mastered the art of ignoring these things. They don't let their unhealthy habits and addictions control their lives. Instead, they focus on their goals and what they want to achieve. They don't dwell on the negative aspects of their lives, but instead, they focus on the positive. This doesn't mean that they're perfect, it just means that they're better at ignoring the negative and focusing on the positive. If you want to be successful in life, you need to learn to ignore your unhealthy habits and addictions. 8 Limiting beliefs. Every day, we are bombarded with messages telling us what we should and shouldn't do in order to be successful. However, there are some things that successful people simply ignore. One of these is limiting beliefs. Too often, we allow our own self-doubt and negative thinking to hold us back from achieving our goals. Successful people know that they can achieve anything they set their minds to, regardless of what others may say or think. They focus on their own abilities and talents, and they refuse to let fear stand in their way. By ignoring the voice of doubt, they are able to stay motivated and reach their full potential. As a result, ignoring limiting beliefs is one of the things successful people do in order to achieve their goals. 9 Setbacks and failures. Many people equate success with avoiding setbacks and failures, but the truth is that even the most successful people experience these things on a regular basis. The key is to not let them get in the way of your goals. Setbacks and failures are simply part of life, and if you want to achieve something great, you need to learn to ignore them. Of course, this doesn't mean that you should completely disregard your mistakes. It's important to learn from them so that you can avoid making the same ones in the future. However, dwelling on your failures will only hold you back from achieving your true potential. Instead, focus on your goals, and don't let anything stand in your way. 10 The past. Why is it that successful people tend to ignore the past? Is it because they are trying to forget their humble beginnings? Or is it because they are focused on the present and the future? Whatever the reason, ignoring the past is often a key ingredient in achieving success. By forgetting about former failures, successful people are able to move forward with confidence. They also avoid getting bogged down in nostalgia, which can be a major distraction from more important goals. Instead of looking back, successful people choose to focus on the present and the future. This allows them to stay motivated and keep moving towards their goals. So next time you find yourself dwelling on your past, remember that successful people have chosen to ignore it for a reason. Instead, focus on what you can do in the present moment to make your dreams a reality. Successful people ignore many things in order to stay focused and achieve their goals. This includes unhealthy habits, limiting beliefs, the past, and setbacks and failures. By ignoring these things, they are able to stay motivated and move forward with confidence. If you want to be successful, it's important to learn how to do the same. Don't let anything distract you from your goals or stand in your way. Stay focused on what you want to achieve, and don't forget that success is within reach if you're willing to work for it. If you want to learn more about how to be successful, make sure to subscribe to my channel.